Hey everybody, the Training for Warriors Dojo. It's Coach Rooney for another Ask Coach Rooney series. I am here at Bigger Ground in Renton, Washington, home of our Training for Warriors affiliate. And today, I'm going to be answering so many different questions that I've had about medicine balls. I've heard about which medicine balls do I like, what are my favorite medicine ball drills, what do I think of D-balls, what do I think of Dynomax balls, what do I think of sandbells. So I'm going to go over a little history first in this first part of this series about maybe a little bit about where medicine balls came from, the different uses, and how they've morphed. Now, originally when I did my research, it sounds like medicine balls originated actually during World War II on the actual aircraft carriers. When they would have people that were a little bit sick, they would go and just give them exercises to do. And a lot of that was just shooting basketballs and playing hoop. But what happened was when they were out at sea so long, the basketballs lost their air and they couldn't play anymore. So what they did was they cut the balls open, stuffed them full of stuff, and they would throw these balls around for exercise. And they said that was getting their medicine. And that's where that title supposedly came from. And what's interesting is since that time, medicine balls have been used in so many of a variety of ways. They were popularized in boxing and then moved into the fitness arena. Now, what I have here for you to show are a number of different styles that you might be aware of or have seen today. One style right here, starting from the biggest all the way down, is a D-ball. Now a D-ball today, as you can see, this is a 30-pounder right here. So a 30-pound ball where I would say it's limited in its use in terms of really throwing it around, but for some power and strength development of whether you're picking up this ball and doing some explosive chest throws and chasing it down, or what I like to use is some throws forward or some throws backwards to use a little bit of strength and power. This is one form of this ball, how it's used. Moving over to a more of a classic med ball that you'll see though. A classic med ball that you'll see a lot is just this rubberized hard ball. And you can do passes with this, you can do slams with this, but the challenges with some of these, which we'll talk about, is when you do the slams, it's really reactive, has a lot of explosiveness, so one, the ball can escape you, get away from you, so I usually reserve those for some passing drills, but even with that, sometimes there's an element of danger, because if somebody gets one of those in the face, and I've had that before, it's like getting hit with a bowling ball in the face too. That brings us to, hey, if we don't want something that's too hard or bounces and gets away from you, that's where the Dynomax balls come in. I like these a lot. They're great for throwing, safe for catching, and people usually feel pretty comfortable with them, even if they hit you in the body or something like that, which I used to use with my fighters a lot, either for punching drills or for body tempering exercises. They were great. Now the challenge I see, unfortunately, though, with Dynomax balls today is that slams are a very popular exercise. And man, when you slam these after a while, if you've had any of them, they're usually not as durable as they could be. They start to fall apart. And then you got your place filled with the innards of a Dynomax ball, and the ball is kind of destroyed. Which brings us to what's called a jam ball. And with a jam ball, now you have the opportunity to now slam the ball into the ground with a number of different slams, which I'll show off further in this series. But now, different things about throwing it or other exercises are now limited. So each one has its own space. Now, in terms of slamming, one of the new things that people have asked me about is a sandbell. Now, a sandbell, which has an advantage different than the medicine balls, is that you can actually be working on grip and different exercises, but still get the effect of slamming it into the ground too. You can do passes like a medicine ball, but it has a different consistency. And then all the way down the continuum, one that I think is one of the toughest to use, whether you want to call this a tornado ball, whatever they call it, but man, this is where you're doing slams with this or slamming against a wall on both sides. Sometimes a little bit limited in use on who you can use it with or how well it works for certain people. Takes some technique to get used to. But what I wanted to show was an entire continuum where medicine balls can be used for strength, medicine balls can be used for throws and endurance, medicine balls can be used for explosive power and slams, now all the way down to a sandbell or something, which is like a medicine ball where you can be working on grips and you can be working on rotary power with a lot of these medicine balls as well. So a medicine ball, it should be in your arsenal. It's something that, man, I always use as a training tool, sometimes for my warm-ups, sometimes as conditioning tools during a circuit, sometimes during a strength or power exercise as well. So super, super versatile and something that you can have in your place. But each one has its pros and cons like I just covered right there, which I hope makes sense. And now, as we go deeper into this series, I'm going to identify each one individually and show you some of my favorite drills. So I hope this one at least starts to stimulate you And if you don't have some of these, it's going to give you a great training tool for your arsenal. So hey, this is Coach Rooney. It is after midnight my time, but I'm on the West Coast, and I got to keep bringing you more in the Training for Warriors dojo.